welcome back to another video. Did my free play. It's probably the worst I've done, but I've made enough for gas. Made $30, so it's just enough to recover gas. So that's a good thing. Of course, I wish I would have made more, but that's how it goes, and I'm just glad that I made enough for gas at least, and it did get me on the road, got me out and about a bit, and I'm glad that it got me out and about a bit. And I got to socialize with people and stuff, so that's good. I do that everywhere I go, but there are no police cars around here. So, as always, I just turn on the camera. Got nothing scripted, but I do pretty good blabbing away.
Turn right on US 63.
On the way up here yesterday, I definitely got some good stuff in, some good topics or whatever. And I just offloaded the SD card from the camera onto my laptop before I hit the road again, so that way it wouldn't tried washing my window with the wiper.
Continue on US 63.
Based what I was saying there. Oh yeah, I offloaded the SD card because from past experience, if I try to just run both ways with it, I only make it about halfway back and the SD card's full. So that's why I offloaded it that way. That way it don't cut out on me along the way and then I miss out on some good stuff. So I just finished doing that, plugged in the camera, started the engine, and here we are rolling down the road, heading back to good old Minnesota. Even though I had fun and I'm glad I got out, I mean it's a little break from the funk that I was starting to feel again, but I'm still feeling the funk. I say I'm feeling the funk, fighting the blues or depression or negativity of my situation. Just so ready for change. And I know I'm doing everything God wanted me to do. He guided me to come up this way, and he wanted me to leave the foundry a lot sooner than I did. I think he kind of forced me out. But yeah, I don't know. No matter what happens, I'm glad that it's all went the way it did. I wouldn't change none of it, because even through my hardships here, I've got to meet a lot of people I know I wouldn't have met had I not been going through this, I wouldn't have got to talk to the pastors I've talked to. I wouldn't have been able to help meet all the people and the homeless and the nomads that I've met. And I wouldn't have been able to help as many people as I've helped. One of the first guys that helped. I always keep calling him Old Man Doug. That's the only way I can describe him, because I only know his first name is Doug, and he's an old man. I was with my friend Mandy right after I'd left the foundry and came up north. And I forget, me and her were just kind of tootling around and winging it for the day, hanging out together. And started pouring pretty heavy, and there was this old guy walking in the rain as we went by him. So I pulled over at the next street I could turn off on, and I asked my friend Mandy, I said, I mean to be rude to her, but I was going to ask her if she could get in the back and sit on the couch, because I was going to turn around and I was going back to go pick up the old man and give him a ride home or to wherever he was going, because it was starting to pour rain. And she said, oh, of course, so she jumped in the back and looked around and picked the guy up. And then, hey boy, he was soaking wet. He's like, God, I can't remember now. I want to say he was like 90 years old or something. And 80, 90 years old, somewhere in 100 years old. And I've talked about it in one of my other videos a bit too. But just a neat old guy. And he talked kind of like Jimmy Stewart from The Miracle on Christmas, or whatever it's called, or Miracle on First, or whatever it is, the old Christmas movie. Where his life gets erased from the angel, nobody remembers him, and then he gets it back, and everybody remembers him again. He's so happy to have his life back. But yeah, it was neat. We brought that old guy home, and we talked for quite a bit during his driveway. And then after he left, he told me anytime I was in the area to please stop by and visit him. And yeah, when I picked him up, he says, I asked him where he was going, which way he was going, how far he was going up this way, and he said, oh, well, I ended up bringing him all the way to his door, but he said, well, he says, I was on the way to help some people, and then it started raining. Oh, it was funny. And my friend Andy was just like, oh, he was such a nugget. She thought he was so cute. But that was one of the first guys I picked up, and then after he went into his house, we made sure he got in safe and stuff. My friend Mandy jumped back up in the passenger seat. And because I told her, God told me that people might think I'm crazy, but God wanted me to live the foundry. He wanted me to come up this way. He wants me to start talking about more and all that stuff. And I said, this is a perfect example. Had I not already been gone from the foundry, I would not have been there to pick up that old man in the rain. And that was just the beginning of just a chain of things that have been happening that God keeps confirming that I'm hearing him. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Where I'm getting weak now is God didn't want me to work a normal job now. I don't know exactly what that means, but when I first started applying and going for interviews, he'd already told me he didn't want me to work a normal job anymore, and he wanted me to start talking more about him. That's why I started this channel. And I've been talking about him to people I meet on the street too. But I also started this channel because I figured that social media like this can reach the whole planet, So I figured if God wants me to start talking about him more, it's a good way to do it, I'm still doing it in person and on social media, So anyway, even though God didn't want me working a normal job anymore, I kind of knew that before I left. I knew that before I left the foundry, and I kind of, I don't know, I wasn't ready to listen to it quite yet. I started applying for jobs right away. I had some good interviews right away in the beginning. I did take like maybe a couple weeks off work, in between, since I got terminated, and so then I got denied my unemployment and all that kind of stuff too. It's a whole long story, but anyway, there's that sneaky word. I had a good interview right away, in the beginning. And I thought for sure I was going to just walk right into the next job because I'm super qualified, I'm super intelligent, I got a strong work ethic, all this stuff, but I didn't get that job, and I was shocked. The interview went super well. Well, then I kept feeling God telling me to be still and relax. He wanted me to heal. He wanted me to rest my body and heal up, and I did that, and I did. I healed a lot. Things that were happening to me from the foundry, numbness I was having halfway up my hands and halfway up my feet. I think it was from being around all the aluminum exposure and stuff or something, I don't know. But all that's went away now. My hands are like 99.9% better. I can feel and everything again. Before I couldn't even take cashews out of a can because I couldn't feel if I had anything in my hand or not, And it was almost like when you go to the dentist and he gives you Novocaine, imagine that getting shot into your hands, that's what my hands were like, I couldn't feel them. And my feet were getting like that too. Now my hands are really good. They might have just a little bit on the tips of my fingers, my index, my middle finger, just a little bit in the tips. Otherwise they're pretty much normal. And my feet have got way, way, way better. They're just, they still get a little bit of stiffness and numbness in the toes, but my whole foot on both my feet are just amazingly better. My skin was getting dried, cracked, split, calluses, and all this other stuff from being on my feet on concrete 10, 12 hours a night, pouring melted metal, lifted all these heavy parts and stuff. It was just hard on my body. It was really hard on my body. And I lit it up for 2.5 years and outproduced everybody on almost, when I was molding, I outproduced everybody on a regular basis. Now when I got into benching, no. When I was like grinding and benching stuff, then I wasn't. Then I didn't outproduce there. But I was hired as a molder, in permanent molding for that, and for what I was hired for, I outproduced everybody. Eventually I probably could have done that in benching and everything too. I did pretty good at it. A lot better than a lot of other people, but there was a lot of people fat a lot faster. But when it comes to benching, I don't know how I got so far down that rabbit hole. That's what I was talking about, the jobs, the interviews. So then I rested and I healed quite a bit. I think my body's still doing different healing, but I've been helping a lot of people too in different ways. While I've been making these videos, I've been helping people, whether it's with their cars breaking down or whatever and stuff. And I try not to have to do too much because I don't like I'm getting older. I can feel it in my body, and I don't want to beat up my body anymore. I want to. Afraid if I keep beating up my body, it's going to shorten my life. Maybe or something. I don't know. I guess that's up to God. But my body, my physical body, my flesh doesn't want to be beat up anymore. And from helping people, I've been helping. I touched base on it several videos back. Is God's given me a lot of different skills. It just seems like there ain't nothing I can't do. Well, as I've been going through life, I can tell that my body's aging. That's changing a little bit, but otherwise, as for intelligence-wise, it seems like there's nothing I can't do or can't figure out how to do it. And I'm thankful that I have those kind of skills because I used to always think that everybody just seen things the way I see them, but I've learned it's not that way, and I'm really blessed. But through the years, even when I was younger, God's given me the gift of healing too. But I didn't know that when I was younger. I didn't realize that was from God. I thought it was me, that I was special. Well, I am, but that's because of God. And so when I was younger, into my 20s, let's say, late teens into my 20s and that, for quite a while, all of my friends I hung around with, I had different nicknames. Everybody could call me different nicknames, but the big one was the doctor. People call me the doctor, Dr. D. different, you know. But yeah, so because I was doing that all the time and helping people all the time, a lot of my friends started calling me the doctor. And I'm not sure. Well, I shouldn't say. I'm sure for me, but I'm not talking about it too much right now because I'm still trying to figure out if it's real or not. But I almost feel like even when I lay hands on people, I heal people by laying hands on them. And I can't figure out how that works or whatnot. But and if I don't think I can do it, then I don't. But if I feel it in me or something, yeah, that's a tough one to explain because sometimes even if you feel like you could heal somebody, it almost feel like I'll get a forbidden feeling like no, you're not supposed to heal that person. You know, I don't know how to explain it. You know, it's the best way to explain it at the moment anyway. Maybe in a future video I'll have a better way to lay it out or something. But when I help people heal or go through that, or because even when I'm helping somebody with their vehicle or something, I'm still conversing with them, and it's natural for me to, when people start opening up to me, to heal them psychologically or emotionally or whatever, with being me or something. I don't know how to explain it. So, but when I do that all the time, then it's like it sucks the life out of me. Or even if I lay hands on somebody to pray for them, or put my hand on them and say, Lord, heal them up, will you? Make them feel better, you know, or whatever. It seems like I get drained, you know. And sometimes if I do it too much or something, it almost feels like I gotta lay around for a couple days. It's weird. It's all stuff I'm learning or trying to figure out, you know. I have unbreakable faith in the Lord. I'll never ever doubt God's existence because I know He's real. It's not believing God's real for me, it's knowing He's real. So for me, it's not a belief, it's a knowing. Now, some of this other stuff that ties in with faith, you know, whether it's healing or whatever, that I don't know how to explain it, man. It's like, because I know it's God in us, you know. God's given us all these things. Maybe not everybody, but it's just kind of hard to believe that you can do that, you know. It's like I remember, I talked about this story in one of my other videos too, that's my karate master, you know, when he's training, after I'd been training with him for quite a while, he's like telling me I should be able to side kick 2x4s and snap them in half and stuff, you know. And because I've been learning enough, you know, I'm learning form and internal energy, chi energy and stuff, being centered, getting my mind, my body, and my soul all in tune with one, you know. But being centered is what they kind of say in the martial arts world. But I was too scared to try to kick a 2x4 in half, you know, because I don't want to bust my foot or something. And then one of my friends trained underneath a different master that my master trained. So my master trained this other master as they were growing up. And then one of my friends ended up training with this other master, and he actually had gotten to meet my master before too. And anyway, he started showing me about breaking boards. And first we're breaking these little 3/4 inch little boards, which I'd